Hello everyone and welcome back to another Voyager's Guide to Ravean kind of world building video. We're going to cover another god today. This one is actually fairly similar to the Ocean Master, if you remember this one. The Stormbreaker, if we jump down to his page, is a god aligned, is a good aligned deity that is kind of change and challenge oriented. Serving as a change-bringer entity to the people of the world, he incites growth and development for the people of the plains. This change is most commonly felt by the sudden storms that the Stormbreaker sends their way. Each thunderclap is a challenge to his followers from the Stormbreaker himself. The Stormbreaker is commonly known to be a man with dark skin and glowing eyes that sits at the heights of the highest mountains across the top of the plains of all existence, staring into a pool of water that allows him to see the lives of all of those on the material plane. This means that the Stormbreaker watches the lives of these mortals under his care, and issues them their own challenges as needed. This too means that the Stormbreaker can keep a watchful eye on the state of the world, and issue whatever challenges he and his divine partners see fit to bestow on the inner planes of the material world, to inspire whatever change and growth that they need. The Stormbreaker serves as almost a watchman for the gods. His unique access to the lives of his followers and the remainder of the world allows him the power to keep a careful watch over the material plane, being able to assess threats to the free people of the world and act as needed. Followers of the Stormbreaker tend to be those that wish to weather the storm, so to speak, or otherwise tackle life's challenges head on. These followers follow a series of tenets that guide their worship and their life's mission over time. The tenets of the Stormbreaker are as follows: weather the storm and be the shelter for others in the storm. Be the change that you need. Do not wait for one to arise. And take each lightning bolt as an opportunity to grow. Now, let's break him down a little bit, because that's fairly similar to two gods that we've already talked about. That's fairly similar to the Ocean Master, but it's also very similar to the Scarlet Maiden. He is fairly neutral across the two different god spectrums, the Dominion and the Enduring gods. He serves as a kind of a unaligned version of these two groups. He works with both. He supports both by his access to looking into the material plane. He helps the gods keep a more visual eye on the different followers that they might have, serving as a almost mediator between the two. Now, being good aligned, he does want to support the mortals' lives, so he doesn't necessarily get along with more evil aligned deities, but trying to be neutral, he does support them, seeing the challenges that they bring as valuable to the growth of his followers themselves. So, how he differs. He is, in part, a supporter of chaos, like the Ocean Master, but isn't necessarily the embodiment of it. He does have sets of understanding and rules and balances that he puts in place for the challenges that he puts forth into the world. He, however, is also not necessarily the same as the Scarlet Maiden. The Scarlet Maiden wants you to help your personal journey. She wants to back you up as you go through your life. And the Stormbreaker does this too. However, his scope is much larger. He doesn't necessarily want to address personal issues. He wants to address larger scale issues. So he doesn't care necessarily about your personal feelings on a subject, versus inspiring you to grow to face an outside challenge. And he is more than willing to throw a challenge your way for you to overcome. He will offer you the challenge itself and the encouragement to take it on, but will not necessarily be at your back the entire way. Seem kind of being a more hands-off version of the Scarlet Maiden herself. So, having this visual connection to his followers, he's able to watch them, see what they need, and try to give it to them as a challenge. try to inspire them to grow based on what he or the other gods request. So if the Ocean Master or the Midnight Dancer or another god were to go to him to try to look in on a specific mortal and throw a challenge their way, he would be the person to do this. He would be the person that looks into his pool, his kind of brazier pool that reflects all of existence, and look into the lives on the outside visual perspective of these people's various followers. He's able to see and explore the lives of different people, not necessarily look into them. And that's the part that's key, is he cannot look into you. He can only try to empathize and understand you. So his challenges are based on what he sees, not what he gleans from an internal perspective that you are dealing with. So I use the analogy for the Scarlet Maiden. If you go through a massively long battle of a workday, his response is, well, that was a hard workday. I better give them another one so that they learn to handle it. Versus the Scarlet Maiden, who says, I better back them up so that they can better handle the next one. So, knowing this about the Stormbreaker, it might feel as though he's a little bit more cold and unfeeling. And if you were to run him in your own campaign, I would definitely run him as a kind of removed deity that is a little bit more hands-off and aloof, happy to send a challenge your way, try to steer you in a direction, but ultimately not be as active in your life. So that's it for the Stormbreaker. Definitely leave any comments or ideas or what your thoughts might be on this god. It's one of the custom ones that I developed as an ideal. So otherwise, thank you all for watching. Remember, it doesn't take that much to make a difference out there, so be the difference that you want to see. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.